Welcome everyone to Unscripted Coding. Today we are going to look at generating puns. And the reason I wanted to do this was because I saw this YouTube Shorts from one of my favorite subscriptions, Under Studio, and I'm just going to play it for you, just the first few seconds here.
These are nicknames for your friend named Sarah. Serotonin, Scara, Sub-Saharan Africa, Squara, Exposure Therapy.
And it goes on for a little while. Now, the reason why I thought this was so interesting was because uh, way back, I created a pun generator in Python. Now, we used the Carnegie Mellon University Pronunciation Dictionary to calculate similar sounds so that we could find the ones that rhyme the best, that have similar sounds, that we could substitute the words into it. Lots of different ways to create puns, and this was a way to mathematically do it. Now, I'm not going to go through that code all over again. You can go back and I'll leave a description below. This is a fairly old video, so 3.5 years ago, I see very few views, so not a lot of you got to enjoy it, but we got great results from it. And so, let me just pull this up. I put in the name Sarah as well in here, and if you take a look, when I run it, it goes through and we find some of the closest matches. So Bonacera, Cerebral, let's see, Sarah Lee, these don't help. Seraphin, Serendipitous, Triceratops, Ceremoniously, lots of different Sarah sounding words all the way through. And of course, we could do this with any word. We could just put in, say, Python and run it again and see the answers. Now, very quickly, what is happening is there is a dictionary that breaks down all the words into their sounds so that it accurately represents each of the sounds. And what we've done is we created a sound matrix in which we grouped similar sounds together, gave it a value, and in the end, we have something of a score table like this where we could calculate the similarities between one word and the next and the next. And so for Python, we get to the very bottom where they're quite tortured. Byron and Python, I could see some of it. But if we go all the way to the top, we have, well, Python is a clearly perfect match for Python. But some of these words I've never heard. Pathan, but we have patent, Python, I could see that. Patents, patent, baton, python, pylon. So if we give it the first chunk, you can see there are a lot of similar sounding words. Now, is this sound matrix perfect? Probably not. If I were to revisit it, I remember there were some bits of judgment calls on my end in terms of ranking different similar sounds. Regardless, what ended up happening is I would have all these words, but I didn't know what to do with them. So, haha, I know Python sounds a lot like pylon. Useful, but what's more helpful are phrases, idioms, quotes. And so our next step was we have these idioms and quotes, just long lists of quotes and idioms. This was not a good way to go about it. These were not curated. I just picked up random ones off the internet. But they were quite demanding to run, and the results weren't great. So what if, Einstein said something about a pylon 10 years ago? That doesn't really match. So what I want to do today is I just want to bring this into 2025 and pair it with AI. Now, if I give AI this list of words and say, ask it to say something punny, think we will have a much better and much quicker result than when I had find some idioms and quotes for me. And so what I'm going to do is just paste right here from OpenAI, import OpenAI. I have my API key. It will not work by the time this video is published. And we'll stick it with GPT 4.0. We'll leave that 4.0. And we should give it a prompt. Now, none of this is new whatsoever. I have literally just taken the quick start code. And this is what I want to show you, is that AI can breathe new life into an old project. Just solving something that is fiddly, that was annoying to do programmatically in the past, but now you can just stick it through AI. So I'm going to stop talking for just a minute or two while I clean up this prompt. Unfortunately, I made the mistake of recording without audio, so you're going to see me gesturing all around in the previous video, but I'm filming this weeks later when I found out. Luckily, this is a project I enjoyed doing quite a bit, and to run through the code, very simply, we have this idea of sounds. We're going to take two different sounds from this list, and we're going to use a sound matrix. What this means is we're going to find every vowel and consonant kind of sound together so that some of them are quite similar. So th and sh are similar kind of sounds, but if we take and k, maybe not similar at all. And so we have the sound matrix in which we match each of the sounds together and give it a ranking between 0 and 5. We can certainly make this broader and more detailed and more fine-grained, but for now, it seems to work fine. From there, we're going to run it through. And so right now, I'm just going to start running it so you can see that we're going to take a word and we're going to search all of the other words. And what that means is we're going to compare the sounds for each word. And we're going to realign each word as well. So one example is, first of all, to compare the words piano and panini, similar sounds. P starting with, we have the n sounds, and we also have some vowels in there. So those two should be a fairly high scoring match. Now, if we take another word, say keyboard, and we have the word board, if we line them up both at the start, so I compare key and keyboard, the key sound in keyboard, and the second word board together, they sound nothing alike. But if I shift it so that keyboard, the second sound board, is compared to the second word, also board, they should be a perfect match. And so we are doing this immediately, shifting one, shifting another, shifting, and all the way through. This is not the most elegant or efficient way of searching, but you'll see that the time is not too bad. Now, what I did was I took the word Sarah again and compared it with every word in our sound dictionary, and it's going to print out a giant list here. And just like our video at the start, we have similar sounds. So Sarah with Sarah, Sarah Lee. Sarah, of course, is a perfect match, but serenade, that's a good one. Serendipity, unceremoniously. There must be a ceremony somewhere up here. Ceremonies, ceremonial. Similar sounds. You can see that's working, and it doesn't have to start with Sarah. So adversarial has that ser sound as well. Now, if we go down all the way, you're going to see that I did two separate tests. Because before, all I did was search all the idioms I had listed in a library, and they just didn't make much sense. But if I run it through GPT-4o, first I'm going to ask it for some funny puns or idioms, anything I want in this context, and in this case, punny nicknames, for the word Sarah. Can you give me a list of great punny nickname examples? I did this first one as a control test with no pun generator. How would it do? And then the second one, I give it similar instructions. I want you to create some punny nicknames for Sarah, but my pun generator gave similar sounding words. And so here is a bunch of results, the first 40 examples in my list. You can work with it. You don't have to work with it. And let's see how we do. So the first set, here are some funny and punny nicknames. Safari Sarah, Sarah Bear, Sarah Perilla. These are not bad. Sahara Desert. So some of these are kind of fun and interesting. So AI, even with nothing, has some good ideas. But if we go down, we have more. And so you could see that it's a very different set. I don't know that these are necessarily better. Cerebral Sarah, Cerilicious. Not sure. Not sure these are great. But if we go down further, there are more. Therapy. I'm thinking that's like therapy. Saratoga Party. Sarah Zenith. I have no idea where this comes from. But I might want to limit my dictionary to more common words because honestly, half of these first ones, I don't even know what they mean. Anyways, you can see there's a very different set, and perhaps I can adjust the prompt to say you don't have to use it and maybe try and come up with more punny phrases than nicknames. We can play around with it. But regardless, I think these are closer matches than the ones that were provided up top. Okay. So, I'm running out of steam here. It's a bit awkward filming this way afterwards. But long story short, the pun generator is still something really fun because we can do that because we do have people coding all the sounds for every English word, and we can calculate the differences. And then from there, we could support an AI LLM because you give it additional data, it can create something new. I think that is a great way moving forward for people to engage with AI tools because LLMs, everyone will have access to the same few, but if you can support it with your own data, with your own calculations to kind of beef it up, you have a bit of a advantage. Okay, so I will see you next week with yet another project, and hopefully you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching. Bye.